They have a lot. They have so much money invested into Mookie Betts still, even though I believe he's at the age where decline starts to be a thing, and then you couple that with the injuries and the ability to never get right. Regardless, they still are on the hook for Mookie Betts, and they need to try to make it work at every turn. So Mookie Betts on Saturday, the Dodgers starting shortstop, again, second full year playing shortstop, sustained an oblique injury. And they say the timeline now is about 4 to 6 weeks before he will come back. Now, the problem with these oblique injuries, and it just, for me, it calls back to Max Muncy in 2024 when he ended up missing 3 months on what was supposed to be, he was out for a month, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Now we have this concern with Mookie Betts. And they're saying it's grade 1, hopefully not a grade 2. We don't know yet. But that's what Max Muncy suffered. It was a grade 1 oblique strain. It wasn't a partial tear. It was just an oblique strain. And those injuries are tricky, man. It's like hamstrings. It's like the same thing that happened with Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp always had the hamstring injuries, and eventually it just derailed him, and he could never get in a rhythm. He could never get right. And that's so important in baseball, right? It's so important to be able to constantly be in rhythm. That's why I think it's so important. I don't care that the Dodgers beat up on... Miles Mikolas is like the worst pitcher in baseball. Like him and Cal Quantrill deserve a special place in quadruple A. I don't care that they just attacked maybe the worst pitching staff in Washington. They got right. They got the offense rolling. And I know that they're going to be facing tougher competition now in Toronto, but it matters. It matters to get right. It matters to get rolling. It matters to get into a rhythm. And Mookie Betts, guys... this is... Luckily, it's not because he's having the same recurring injury, but he just can't get right. This is the second year in a row now. Last year, it was the norovirus or the stomach bug that got him to start the season, and he lost a bunch of weight. So it kind of felt like a lost season from the start. Then he gets hurt. He starts to heat up again, and then he gets hurt. And then he just never got into a rhythm with the rest of the team. And the Dodgers very much take a team approach to hitting. I've talked about it till I'm blue in the face about Robert Van Soyak. They will hit in unison together and score 10 runs, and then they will slump together as a team. So this throws off the rhythm of Mookie Betts with the entire team. Because now the team's going to start swinging. They're going to start doing their thing. They're going to catch the rhythm. And then he's going to be hopefully rehabbing and coming back in the next month and a half, if we're lucky. So that's the big concern. There's no analytics. There's no numbers I'm going to throw at you to tell you why I'm worried about Mookie Betts and why you should be worried about. I can just tell you from a baseball perspective, from logic, from me playing baseball, from knowing how history goes, that these injuries not only are the worst kind to sustain outside of the major structural ones, they're nagging injuries. They lag. You're using your oblique all the time in baseball when you're fielding. When you go to field the ball, when you're swinging the bat, obviously, I think that's where Muncy sustained was in the batting cages. So Mookie Betts now is going to have to battle back from that, and it really sucks. It really does, because the offense, like I said, was atrocious to start the year. They were having to come back from 2 down every game against Arizona, and their pitching had to keep them in it. And then against Cleveland, they couldn't hit. Now, I think Cleveland's actually got one of the more underrated starting staffs. I think Gavin Williams, who shut them down, is actually a very, very good starting pitcher. I think Tanner Bibee's good. They have good pitching, but for this team, for this absolute boondoggle of a roster that they put together, we expected more. And then we saw that in Washington. They have these innings where they score 5 runs. Particularly encouraging was the Sunday game where they came back because they put up all those runs. Point being, Mookie Betts is not going to be around for them getting hot. You started to see he had the game. He hit the home run. Seemed like the velocity on the exit velocity was coming back for him. The speed of the bat was better. But now he's set back again. Now he's essentially, because we started the season and it's so early in the year, when he comes back in hopefully May, June, it's going to be like spring training for him. It's just another shortened season. It's another delayed opportunity for Mookie to get right. It's a little bit concerning. So what does this mean for the team, though? We talked about what it means for Mookie Betts. Mentally, physically, hoping for the best. But these injuries are a little bit concerning. But for the Dodgers, it means Alex Freeland will be staying at second base. He is a shortstop by trade. Ha-Seong Kim is obviously first man up. He was the last man off the starting opening day roster. Has ability to play second base, shortstop, outfield. Came in actually as a shortstop. So it looks like we're going to have a platoon with Miggy Rowe against lefties playing shortstop and Ha-Seong Kim, probably against right-handed pitchers most of the time. But I would assume Miguel Rojas will get some at-bats against right-handed pitching, considering the fact that the Dodgers hate Ha-Seong Kim. This is probably the perfect opportunity, I think, real quick, for the Dodgers to let Ha-Seong Kim play, hopefully let him cook. Let him do what he was doing in AAA, where he wasn't hitting the cover off the ball, but he was getting on base. He had a 5-hit game. He looked good in spring. Looked a lot better than Freeland if you want to look at the actual counting stats and the results. This is the chance, I think, for the Dodgers to cash in on Ha-Seong Kim. They've made it abundantly clear he doesn't have a future with this team. He just doesn't. He doesn't. They want Alex Freeland to be a middle infielder. I think they see Emil Morales being hopefully the shortstop of the future. They have so much money invested into Mookie Betts still, even though I believe he's at the age where decline starts to be a thing, and then you couple that with the injuries and the ability to never get right. Regardless, they still are on the hook for Mookie Betts, and they need to try to make it work at every turn possible. Miguel Rojas is obviously retiring in a year, or at the end of the year, so that doesn't really matter. But Ha-Seong Kim is the guy, it's like, all right, what do we do with him? Because we got Tommy Edman, who, again, we've married ourselves to for the next 4 years for whatever reason. Ha-Seong Kim has the opportunity to showcase his value, make the most of the next month and a half that he'll be able to get regular at-bats, regular opportunities to play in the field, for him to juice his trade value. And for the Dodgers to be able to do what they've done, like they did in the Dustin May trade, like they did with Michael Busch, and ship off these guys that just don't have a future on the team. So that's, I think, where we stand with Ha-Seong Kim. And Alex Freeland, I'm a little surprised they're not going to let him play shortstop. I think it's really telling, though. I think it's very telling that Alex Freeland won't be playing shortstop for the Dodgers, and he'll be playing second base, because it shows that the Dodgers are really committed to Alex Freeland. They are very committed to Alex Freeland. It's why they brought him on the opening day roster. It's why they're having him play second base every day. They probably see Emil Morales, who has shot through the rankings, international prospect, as the shortstop of the future. They see Mookie Betts as the shortstop going forward. Alex Freeland then slots in naturally at second base, because at third base you've got Max Muncy. At third base you have options, whether it be Espinal, whether it be, Will Smith one day like down the line, whether it be somebody else from the minor leagues. Alex Freeland, they want him playing his everyday position. They want him getting used to second base, because that is truthfully where they are seeing him playing come October. They see him as a guy that is going to play that position. They don't want to mess with his rhythm. We saw what it did to Mookie Betts last season. We saw what it does when you transition these guys out of their natural positions. Their defense suffers or their offense suffers. Now, Alex Freeland is a decent defensive shortstop. I really do believe that. But this is a commitment to Alex Freeland long-term that they're going to put him there. I think it's really telling. He's going to get basically every day at-bats now. He's a switch hitter, better from the left side, but they're going to be getting him every day at-bats. So they are really committed to his development as an everyday switch hitter, right? So they're committed to his development, to getting those at-bats, getting those reps, even if they decide they want to let him maybe swing fully left-handed, lefty on lefty, whether they decide that's the future for him. They're going to have him in the lineup every day. And by having him in the lineup every day, we're going to get to see if these swings, the way he's putting bat to ball, is actually going to translate. Early in the season, it hasn't. He's still consistently, as he's done, from last season through spring training to now, hitting under 200. But he is really good at taking pitches. He has a great plate vision, which is something Ha-Seong Kim doesn't have, and the Dodgers hate that. The Dodgers do not want guys that don't have good plate vision, that swing and miss, that strike out a lot. Alex Freeland does whiff, but he sees the ball really well. Great vision for the strike zone. It's very, very valuable now with the ABS system, where you can kind of be your own, independent contractor to a degree as a player, where you are kind of in control of, am I seeing the ball to the zone? Do I have a good vision for the strike zone? Something that a lot of players don't have. And he's putting the bat to ball well, so we need to give him the opportunity now to see if he can put it all together. Can he put it together? Will the results start coming? The Dodgers tend to believe yes. I tend to believe what the Dodgers see in Freeland. He's got a great at-bat song too, E85. But this is huge. This is a huge moment, I think, mostly for Alex Freeland and for Ha-Seong Kim to juice his trade value to go somewhere else.